I wanted to briefly talk about this new development today. Dan Murphy with ESPN reporting some changes on the NIL front for collegiate athletics. I'll just read the tweet verbatim and kind of give my thoughts on it. Dan writes, per sources, NCAA's Division I Board of Directors adopted a couple of new NIL rule changes today. One, schools can no longer guarantee a player any money from a third-party NIL deal verbally or in writing. And two, all collective/booster deals must include a specific direct activation. Both of these rules give a little bit more backing to the CSC's efforts to adapt to some of the ways collectives are paying to get more money to players in the above-the-cap payments. In the first case, some schools signed deals with their athletes that promised to cover full cost of an NIL deal if a collective wasn't able to pay its bills. For schools that signed those types of deals prior to July 1st, that money will now count against their spending cap. The second rules address warehousing, where a collective pays for a player's NIL rights with a promise to use them later, but no specific endorsement in mind. That makes it hard for the CSC to access the market value of the deal. That's a lot of language. Here's my thought on it kind of in a nutshell. To go back to the beginning, we opened up Pandora's box here and said, hey, college athletes can get paid. Y'all go get some. And a lot of schools said, yeah, we're going to get involved in this. This is going to be great. And then all these boosters got involved and said, wait, we can pay all these guys no matter what. And we're like, all right, well, I got businesses. I got oil money. I got tech money. I got whatever money. Like, hey, all right, let's start signing checks. $1 million here, $2 million here. I need a softball pitcher. I need a quarterback. I need a point guard. I need a shooting guard. Just signing stuff everywhere. And the coaches had lost control, and they were paranoid about what was going on. And some said we don't want to play by the rules, and some said, well, these are the new rules. We're going to play by that, and we're going to get players. And it was chaos, absolute chaos for a couple of years. And then everyone in the NCAA kind of looked around and went, well, this is not good. We probably need to put some rules in place here or something. And so now, over the last 2.5 years, you've seen the NCAA try to throw guardrails around a stampede, right? That doesn't happen. And it hasn't happened to this point. But they're trying. They're making an attempt. So this is an effort here to go, okay, schools, as I read at the top of the tweet, schools can no longer guarantee a player any money from a third party or NIL deal verbally or in writing. Okay, great luck to you, NCAA, determining who's promising verbally the NIL deals that could come their way. You don't have to put them in writing anymore. That's an easy one to get around. Just don't put it in writing. But there are literally departments on these campuses of these big-time athletic programs that are designed to match businesses with players to create endorsement deals. You've got schools partnering with Playfly, who is in charge of negotiating deals and increasing brand exposure to get the athletes paid to create endorsements. There are partnerships and departments. This is their literal functionality. And now you're saying, well, we can't guarantee that. Well, can you guarantee that you have the department that's going to get out there and make it happen for you? Or you just can't say, hey, we're going to get you $100,000. We'll say, hey, we've got a department that's ready to help you create brand awareness and facilitate deals. Or can you not say that? This seems silly to me. Then you've got the activation period, which suggests you can't say, hey, Joe, high school athlete, Joe, transfer portal athlete, you're coming to Florida. We've got a collective and we've got a partner that's going to help get you this NIL deal. And generally speaking, we get a lot of our players $400,000. And even if we can't get that, immediately from a third party, we'll make sure it's good for you. We've got it ready. I mean, these rules seem to be very, very difficult to enforce. When did you promise that the money was going to come from? Who's it coming from? And then you've got the clearinghouse that's supposed to be able to determine whether or not it's fair market value. And then you've got people who are suggesting that trying to get deals through the clearinghouse is taking forever, so they're just going to circumvent it. And the entire thing has seemed to be grasping at straws from the very beginning because there was no planning for this, no preparation. And then you got into the wild, wild west, and all the players went absolutely nuts, and all the coaches kind of stood around and went, huh? And so, more so to me than actually paying attention to what these rules are going to do and determining who's following them and who's not and who's cheating. Like, I don't know what all is going on out there in the world every single day. But I do get some enjoyment and just a chuckle here and there out of the NCAA attempting to close Pandora's box. Like, that baby is open and ripping. And I've gone out and said this many, many times. I have just so zero problem with Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman Trophy, walking off the stage, grabbing a box of chicken, and making a social media post and getting paid from that. Like, that's a huge brand exposure deal. He's a monster name. It's a legitimate brand that is partnered with him to make something happen that benefits both of them. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I was always skeptical of the determination of, well, we're going to let college athletes be paid, but oh, by the way, you can't use this for recruitment. Oh, really? It's literally the only thing that boosters care about. That's it. It's about the clout that comes with it and winning football games and winning basketball games. And in some few cases, winning baseball games or softball games. That's it. And it was always going to be used specifically for that purpose. And so everybody kind of got caught up to how you're supposed to play this thing, and then they changed the rules again. And guess what? They're going to change these rules and put these rules in place. And then in 6 months, everybody's going to look up, and there's going to be another academic year in the books. They're going to go, well, this is no good. We got to change this because it's chaos. And I think it comes from a decent place, but the attempt to legislate this without the rules that professional sports have in place are ludicrous. Because unless you're the Clippers, advertising dollars don't help anybody win. And nobody really cares how much these players get paid for their pocketbooks. They only care how much they get paid to play a certain place and win. And that is what the salary's for in the professional ranks. The owners pay the players the salary so they can win. Whatever comes from endorsements, from Instagram posts and commercials and paid appearances and all that kind of stuff, book signings and whatever, like that's just money. But we're talking about bringing the money into the competition in collegiate sports, and that's where you're 10 miles behind professional sports. Because professional sports found a way to legislate the money in, and the NCAA can't find a way to legislate the money in because they're sticking to amateurism when these folks are not getting paid for their name, image, and likeness because it's a brand awareness in the vast majority of situations. They're getting paid to play for the team. You came out and said, we're trying to make sure this isn't pay for play. It's all pay for play. That's all it is. So it has to turn into the professional model where they literally get paid to play. That's where this has to go to make me stop laughing every time the NCAA comes up with one of these things. Well, you can't promise anything verbally that's going to happen the next 4 years. You can't promise that. Oh, really? Who's going to enforce that? Unless the FBI gets involved and starts tapping phones. How many teams did that affect? Like one? Then you can't enforce that. And that's all that's going to happen. Now that this has been going on for a few years, and I've run across some coaches in my day, I've asked some coaches, like, how quick does money come up in these recruiting conversations? The general consensus is that with high school juniors a little bit less, with high school seniors a little bit more towards the end, with the portal right out front. Like, those kids now have created a market for themselves, and they know, and they're capitalizing on what could be the end of their earning. I do believe there are some high schoolers that, yeah, we're getting some money, but we're going to position ourselves a little bit better as well. But then the portal, and look, they ask about money. I'm not suggesting it doesn't matter. It certainly matters a lot. And then y'all are going to throw Bryce Underwood back in my face and go, what about that? Well, that case doesn't happen very much. I can make a case for everything that's happened. I'm sure there are folks that have taken the 10th biggest NIL offer that they got. Underwood just didn't have to be in that case. But to get back from my diatribe here, like, this is such a ridiculous system to try to enforce. And it makes me laugh when they try to say, oh, we got this figured out. Got them. No, you didn't. You didn't get anything. They're just going to continue running out in the wild, wild west. Until you start operating like professional sports with how the money is doled out, then you just got chaos. And every time I read something like this, I'm reinforcing that, and I chuckle at it. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.